Hello and welcome back to Andy's FPL Apprentice. It's our team selection video ahead of Game Week 12, where we'll go through how we did in Game Week 11 and talk about our transfer plans, captaincy, and all that good stuff ahead of Game Week 12. We'll also have a look at the best 1 week punts, because it specifically applies to Will as he's wildcarding in 13. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, we'll jump straight into it. I'm joined as always by star of the show, Will. How you doing, buddy?
Very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you.
Wow.
So, not a great week for me, but I'm actually not mega disappointed about it, kind of weirdly. So I ended up with 45 points, which is below average. It dropped me down about 100k places, so not too bad. I made the change to bring in Kukureya based on the fact that I kind of figured I was only going to have him in for probably 2 weeks because I was going to then get onto an Arsenal defender, probably Saliba. And Chelsea had 2 good fixtures. I thought there was potential 2 clean sheets, and I thought he was absolutely nailed. Happy to see him starting. Happy to see clean sheet, and he got taken off at half time. So 1 point there. Cancelo, we won't talk about the Liverpool game, but a 2-pointer from him. But the double Newcastle defence saved me a little bit with their clean sheet. The reason I'm not too disappointed is that all of my midfield who have been just absolutely stellar for me the last few weeks, and the reasons that I've risen up the rankings, none of them did anything, all 2 and 3 pointers. And so for them to do absolutely nothing, for my captain to do nothing in Haaland, the defence, well, the Newcastle defence essentially, and then Mitrovic and Kane both scoring was enough to keep it respectable, and I was sort of okay with that. Again,
you're only a point off average, weren't you? I think.
Yeah.
And with all that in mind,
yeah, leaving 12 points on the bench was annoying, but it's one of those things. I was never going to start Andreas or Gay, so can't be too disappointed about that. How did you get on?
Well, I had a better week points-wise. The players you've mentioned already, Cancelo with 2, Haaland with just 4, who remained my captain. I still can't pick the right keeper week in, week out. I reinstated Sanchez and Ward got 6 on my bench and Sanchez just got the 1. But as with your team, Trippier got 6. I brought in Dyer from compared to last week and they got a clean sheet, so now another 6. And Anderson got a 5, just a yellow card being a slight blemish. Most of my midfield did standard. 2 for Trossard, 3 Martinelli, and 3 for Zaha. To your credit, you counselled keeping Salah in, and he popped up with 8 points. So that was a good shout. And Tony really doing the business at the top with 12 points. Alongside Ward, I left Mitrovic on the bench as well, still believing him to be injured, or at least having the chance of being out for a bit longer. So that's a shame, but still, 52 points wasn't terrible.
No, and it puts us really close as well. I think you're about 3 points behind me now.
What's your overall?
Oh, you've
707 500 at the moment.
You've asked me a question that I've not got in front of me. So overall rank, I think it was 630. So about 70k in front of you. I think that's about 3 points, something like that.
Yes, not a lot of points between.
On Salah, because we talked about him briefly last week, obviously, with you saying you wanted to take him out. I think we've said plenty of times, or at least kind of shown that we're both Man City fans. So obviously watched the game. And when I saw the line-up and Sky had him lining up on the wing, I was like absolutely delighted, but I was like, I'm not sure he'll play there, and I'm really worried if Salah starts up front because I think that's just they've kind of gone to this 4-4-2, and I think like he's not too involved if he plays on the right, but I think he could be more involved than ever if he actually starts with Firmino as a 2. And of course he did, and I thought he just looked electric. He just looked like the Salah of old. Like how he's only got 8 points, I don't really know because like he had so many chances. There must have been about 3 occasions where just the obvious pass to Salah didn't happen, and
Yeah.
I'm afraid to say like he really could have had a haul against City, but yeah, it would make me
So
consider.
good counsel.
Well, yeah, it made me consider keeping him on the old wild card though. But, so anyway, got off topic there, but looking on to next week, I've already made my change, which is unusual for me, but because because it is a midweek game week and there's no real time between matches, I just decided to make the change because I thought that price rises and drops would potentially affect it if I waited, and there's no games for someone to get injured in between or anything else. So I brought in Mount for Maddison. Maddison picked up his 5th yellow card of the season and got a suspension, which is annoying because I can't bench him. I would only have 10 players, so.
Yeah, got to make the change.
Yeah, and Mount was kind of on my watch list anyway. I'd only really considered Mount or Trossard, and I like Mount's price at the minute. Like, he started the season at 8 million, started the season really poorly, so has dropped to 7.6, and has been electric like the last like 3 games. And and Maddison, I'm not too bothered about Maddison. He did superbly for me for a few weeks. Hasn't done anything in the last couple of games. I was considering selling him for Foden, like after the City break. So I think now it gives me the option. I can either have Mount for a couple of weeks or a week maybe, and then swap onto Foden, or I could possibly get rid of Zaha, who I picked because the fixtures were so good, but has actually done very little in those fixtures so far.
Last few weeks, yeah.
I do have the money to just upgrade him to Foden, so that's what I've done, and that is what I'm thinking for next week. So you have 2 transfers, and you're planning on wildcarding after this game week. So your changes are only going to affect 1 week, and then you can immediately reverse out of them.
Absolutely. My first change was going to be Cancelo. I think I'll lose the least value buying him back under wildcard. And with that change, I can still field a full team of players who are very likely to play. I'm not having to make too many sacrifices and keep Haaland and Martinelli basically on the bench.
Yeah, of course, you got Tanganga, haven't you, who's not going to play. So although you've only got 3 Arsenal and City players, you kind of got 4 non-playing players.
Indeed, yeah. It means I've got nothing on the bench if anybody doesn't play. It's a risk. And to be honest, I was looking at Van Dijk. I think Liverpool have a good fixture coming up, and he is the cheapest of their sort of top defenders at the moment.
Yeah, I think West Ham at home's not a bad fixture at all. Not that West Ham are a bad team, but you can certainly see a clean sheet there. And I think of all the options. I mean, Andy Robertson, I guess, is probably more attacking, but he has just come back from injury. There is the slight chance that he might not want to play him twice in 3 days to throw him straight in.
And that left me a bit of money left over. And like you say, I've got the 2 transfers, and with the wild card, sort of feel like I might as well spend it. So I was looking at upgrading Gross, who I feel has sort of squeezed the points that are available out of Gross for the moment. And I was considering Almiron. I think, again, Newcastle have a pretty good fixture this weekend, and he seems to be hitting form.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I actually had a look at your team, and I haven't really got suggestions for you because it's very difficult. Like, the players that I think will do best this game week, I think are probably out of your reach without you just losing loads of value in the players that you have. I mean, you've got to kind of decide, like, if you were ready to get off Martinelli for the rest of until the World Cup, then it wouldn't matter. Like, you might as well just lose that value now, and then you can maybe get somebody, like, you could downgrade Cancelo, then you could maybe find a way of getting Son in or someone, considerably better. But yeah, Almiron out of the cheaper midfield options was one I was looking at as well. I think long term, I'm not entirely convinced he'll keep his place, but he started almost every game this season because, one of Isaac Wilson or what's his name? Winger, St. Maximum.
Yes.
Have been injured. Like, I think they'll quite possibly be the front three when they're all fit, but they've never been all fit. So Almiron's played and he's played well. So don't mind that at all. I would say Pascal Gross has got Nottingham Forest at home. It's probably the most targetable defence in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Trossard already, so I'm sort of doubling in that particular market.
You have?
I mean, if they do really well, then it would be a good double. But I think diversification. Everton looked poor in this last game week as well.
Yeah, Everton are a bit of a interesting one, I think, because they've got at one point they're the best defence in the league, but they at least have one of the better defences. But I think their expected goals conceded is actually really high. I think it's kind of Pickford's played really well this season, and teams have just not taken chances against them. And it's kind of worked out that their defence looks really good if you just looked at goals conceded. But I actually don't think it's quite as watertight as it kind of suggests. Are you looking? Presumably, you're not looking at any of the players you've got coming in to be a potential captain, or are you?
No, I've in lieu of Haaland, I've picked Tony as captain. I mean, it's pretty much a flip between him and Mitrovic. They both seem to be scoring goals on a pretty regular basis.
Interesting.
Of course, there is Salah.
There is Salah, yeah.
And West Ham. So I don't know. I guess I'm still juggling that decision. But as it stands right this moment, I've got it set as Tony.
Tony's in great form. Tough game.
It's a tough game against
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea's home. Mitrovic is probably a little easier. Villa at home, but yeah, Tony has been just playing well. Just playing well.
Yeah, he's been outstanding for me.
Well, I'll flip back to my team. I'm 90% sure I'm going to captain Kane.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gone a bit under the radar this season because he's not been as good as Haaland, but he's just
still second top scorer.
Yeah, and he's so consistent. I think apart from game week 1, he's got either a goal or an assist every week. I don't think he'll get a big haul against United, but just
consistent points earner.
Yeah, if he gets a nice 6, maybe a nice little 8 from a couple of bonus points in a 1-1 draw, I'd be happy with that. Be delightful.
Absolutely delighted.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's it for our Game Week 12 team selection video. I'm hoping, if I've got time, to squeeze out a little best wildcard video ahead of Game Week 13, possibly tomorrow. So if you subscribe to the channel, hit that little notification bell that you get an update as soon as that comes out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on another video.